going to look at how to upgrade first the hardware and then setting the BIOS settings in order to image the Z240s. We're going to upgrade to 16 gig of RAM, upgrade the HDD to SATA, or move the SATA HDD to SATA 2, insert an SSD and put it on SATA 1, and replace the CMOS battery as far as the hardware goes. Getting in the Z240 is pretty simple. If it has a green tab like this, it means it moves. So we just pull up this whole thing. There are hinges right here. It just pulls right up to expose the RAM and the underside where we're going to be connecting the SSD. So there's our RAM slots. We're either going to put in 4 4s or 116, depending on what you've got available to you, but we want 16 gig of RAM in all of these. Make sure you seat them securely. We're going to move the HDD right here that's in the blue SATA 1 port over to the SATA 2 port, because we're going to add a new cable to put the SSD on. So once we move that over, you're going to need to get a second or a new SATA cable to plug in that we're going to hook our SSD into on the new computer. This is where it's going to mount, and we need to take off these 4 star bit screws. You can also use a flat screwdriver in it in order for the mount to work. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to put those 4 screws into a 120 gig SSD, and then it just basically goes and snaps in underneath there. You guide the bottom 2 screws through these while the top 2 are going through here, and you'll hear it audibly snap in. But once you get that done, you can connect up your data cable, and the power cable is zip tied right underneath here. You will need to carefully snip that with wire snips. Do not try to use scissors, and make sure they're both in the right way before you press them in so you don't break the cable or the SSD. Once you've got that done, we're going to replace the CMOS battery. All the CMOS batteries on these have been defective, so we're just going to replace them all to avoid the problem. There's 2 different kind of CMOS battery holders. This is one of them. You basically just push a screwdriver against this little tab right here very gently, and then it just pops right out. The other one works very much the same way. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to boot into BIOS and make sure we've got all of our BIOS settings. You'll need the USB key that I've already got all the BIOS settings saved to. We only have one of those, and we can share that because it only takes about 10 seconds to do that. So we're going to load into BIOS. We're going to have to reboot. We're going to have to put in a security code. We're going to reboot again. We're going to enter BIOS again. We're going to set the boot order and the password, and then we're going to be done. It's the delete key to enter BIOS on this one. So you just hit the delete key. It'll say entering setup. You'll have to have the USB flash drive for this. You're going to get a warning that the battery was removed, which we did. So just hit enter to continue. And then you're going to come here, and we're going to do the replicated setup right there on the main screen. So you hit replicated setup, and then we're going to restore current settings from USB device. Don't do backup or you'll ruin our USB key. So you hit that, and it will load the settings from the USB. You say OK, and then we'll hit back, and then we'll exit and say save, and it will do a restart. On the first restart, it is going to ask us to verify that we really wanted to disable the UEFI security settings. So it's going to come up to this. Every time it's going to be a different code. You just have to type that code in to verify that you actually meant to do what you just did. And so once you type that in, you'll be able to then let it reboot again, and then you're going to have to hit delete to enter the BIOS one more time. First thing we're going to do is go to advanced and set the boot order. For some reason that doesn't save, so you go to boot options. You have to scroll down on the right hand side, and then we'll set the boot options. We'll hit that with your mouse, go to the network boot, hit enter, and then you bring it up to the top. And then we'll do the same thing with Kingston, hit enter, bring it up to the top. And that is the boot order that we should see. Network, SATA, USB, these other ones don't matter because it'll already done those. So then we're going to go back, and we're going to go to the security tab next in order to set the BIOS administrator password. You just click on create BIOS admin password. Make sure your caps lock is off, and you'll have to type that in twice to confirm the admin password. After you're done with that, we'll just exit again, and save changes, and we are done. This is now prepped to image. We are going to image it. Obviously, if we're all connected, we wanted to image this computer. The following part of this is just how imaging works. And going through the section, you'll see that it is not registered when it comes up. So we'll have to do the full host registration and inventory to put this on our fog server. So you'll go down to the perform full inventory. Remember that the name of the computer now with these new Z240s is T-room number -HP. And this is image number 54. And that is it for setting up one of the new HP Z240s that we just got from the Air Force.